So today we're going to look at the Black Prism. This is one I've recently just finished. It's the first one in the Lightbringer series, and I have to say I really enjoy it. So all my reviews have been a little bit all over the place in terms of the way I do them, so we're going to go for something different. I'm going to give a little spoiler-free review at the beginning, then I'm going to go into spoilers, break down the characters and the events of what happens, and then I'll give a score. I'm not going to do like the 5 chapters or whatever that was, because I didn't feel that let me explore some of the character arcs and some things like that. But anyway, let's start off with our spoiler-free review. So I felt this book was very well written and it has some great characters. I like the character of Gavin, who is very well done. I don't think any character in this book itself is like likable. They're all morally grey in some way or another. The magic system that's used in this book is brilliant and it's very interesting to read about. So this one, I don't think it's any spoilers here. The magic system in this book is based on colour. And so everyone can draft, if you're a monochrome, it means you can draft 1, a bichrome 2, and a polychrome more than that. And it obviously, the higher you go, the rarer they are. People draft colours and they can draft them by using colours they can see. They try and influence this by using like these spectacles that are layered with a colour so they can draft. It's not as strong as seeing the colour itself, but it helps in certain fighting situations like that. And this book also introduces many things like the consequences of drafting. So like it is said that the more you draft, the closer you become to like dying, because, well, not dying, but basically the more you draft, your halo in your eye gets more filled out with colour, and then it can then crack. I'm doing a bad job here just because I don't want to like give too much away and like ruin it for you guys, but I feel like I had to just double check on how this magic system worked because I wanted to make sure I have a good understanding of it. But yeah, if it can become cracked, and then it is said you can become mad, and the power kind of the power kind of gets to you, and you've got the whole idea of this chromeria, yeah, I'm gonna go with that, and they're like the governing body that kind of have this magic, and the main character Gavin is the Black Prism, well, the Prism, and basically what happens is, think of the I'm going to use a music reference here because think of Dark Side of the Moon, the album. You've got the prism in the middle, the light comes in and reflects all the other colours. And that is because that is exactly how the prism works. He can take in any light, the light of the sun, and within him he can change that into a colour he needs to use. If you didn't know how the magic system works, if you started it and you didn't understand it, there you go, there's a brief explanation from me. But anyway, I really like this book. Some issues with it, I'd have to say, the fact that I don't think he writes women very well. There's a few scenes which just seem off. He overly describes characters' appearance, and I don't mean just women. He talks about the men the same way. And he overly describes their appearance, which is a bit weird. But I'm not saying he's sexist, I just think that the way he writes women isn't very good, and I feel like in the first book, I don't know whether he improves because I've not read the other ones yet, but within this first one, definitely the way he writes women is a bit off. But like I said, I like how most of the characters in this are morally grey. No one's perfect, and no one is a clear winner in terms of who I'm going to root for as the thing goes on. But anyway, if you'd like to skip to see my score, feel free to do so. I'm now going to give a spoiler review and break down the characters and some of the events that happen in the book. So my spoiler review. Let's talk about these characters. The first one we're going to talk about is Gavin. He's very well written. You kind of get to know him, understand him as a character. He's very arrogant. There's like, his arc throughout the book itself is quite good. I like the twist that happens, I think it's around the 200 page mark, where it is revealed that Dazen, I'm going to call it Dazen because it's a bit different from Dazen, who's been held captive underneath the tower by Gavin, because the whole prison war thing where they thought Gavin won and killed Dazen, and instead Dazen was captured and hidden under the tower. But then you realise that actually Dazen won, captured Gavin, and Dazen took Gavin's place. And I think it's confusing because they're not twins, so I don't know how exactly they pull off this, oh, he looks like him, because it's just like a couple of things like, oh yeah, I'll give myself a scar, cut off a mole, and wear shoes without a platform because he used to wear platform shoes, so now they're the same size. Which is, I guess, okay. I felt like there should really have been some other way involved to make it look a little bit more like him, but it's fine. It works for the plot. It's a bit confusing as you go on because they keep referring to each other as the opposite. So Dazen, the actual Dazen, the character we follow throughout most of the book, refers to himself as Gavin all the time, and then the actual Gavin refers to himself as Dazen because he says he needs to become Dazen in order to escape. So he needs to think like him, become him, and so they basically just swap lives, and it's kind of confusing. But I like the idea of it, and it's a good kind of plot bit to add in, and I can see how this is going to continue on and play off later. If we switch to talk about a different character, we're going to talk about Kip. Kip is the bastard son of Gavin, the actual Gavin, but we're not too sure. I'm kind of getting some weird vibes here. I don't know whether we've been given all the information yet. I'm not sure whether I actually like him as a character because he's you're supposed to sympathise for him because he's kind of the underdog in the whole thing. So I kind of am rooting for him in that retrospect, but I still am unsure because sometimes he's it's the way he talks about himself. He's like, oh, I'm rubbish, and I keep getting that, and sometimes I just get a bit fed up of that. And then sometimes he's just acts like a complete idiot towards people. So you can tell he's got related to Gavin and all. Yeah, he's a Garl basically. But also he just over talks about how bad he is at everything, and at first that's all right, but it happens throughout the whole book, and it kind of gets a bit annoying, and I kind of start to be like, I don't know whether I liked you or not because you're kind of a bit annoying. Yes, but anyway, I'd like to see how his character develops over the series, because I feel actually if we can get that bit out of the way and get him, basically if he becomes a bit more what's the word? Proactive, yeah, becomes more proactive in terms of what's going on. He can understand that he's actually better, and then do something about it and stop complaining the whole time because it's kind of getting annoying. If we switch over to talk about another character, we're going to talk about Karis. This is the ex-fiancée of Gavin. She's a very cool character, very badass. She's great with magic, and she just is amazing. I'm annoyed with the book in terms of she kind of takes the back seat for most of it because she gets captured near the beginning and then is just left. You come back to her every so often, there's some weird scenes with her, and then she kind of gets left until the end where she then does some stuff but nothing really important, and so it's a bit annoying. So I like I said, this is one of those characters I'd like to see in the later novels, and I want to see a bit more development with her, maybe explore her relationship with Gavin as well, so we can see her reaction to him, and also when she finds out, because I'm pretty sure at the end of this book she speaks to Gavin, and it's kind of implied that she knew about the whole Gavin Dazen thing. I want to see how what her reaction is to that, because that'd be cool, and I want to basically see more of this character because I really like her. I really like her as a character, and I think she's very badass. So my final opinion in this book is that it's very well done. The magic system is amazing, very fun to read about. You've got the whole Chromeria thing, and how that kind of their kind of morals are stated as like a fact at the beginning, and then as you go you learn more and more, and paralleled with the opinions of the King Garadul or whatever, as well as the Colour Prince, you kind of hear about why those things are bad, and just having it from both sides is quite good, and you kind of start to question what you've been taught at the beginning and what you've been like fed as part of the world building. Like I said, the only issue with this is the women are written pretty naff, and Kip can kind of get a bit annoying with his whole like self-deprecating kind of stuff. Other than that, I think it's a great book, and I'm going to give this one a score of 81 out of 100. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll see if I can get a review up for the next one soon. I'm already started that. I'm like third of the way through, so I'll get one of those out soon. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions or anything like that, you want to speak to me or any others, we've got a Discord channel, so go check that one out down below. And if you've got any ideas you want me to do, any books you want me to review, any things you want me to do on the channel, basically, leave it in the comment section down below. And below me should be a channel subscribe link, and over there will be a video chosen by the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!